Hey everyone, welcome to our week 3 for our family Advent series. I'm really excited you all are joining us tonight. Tonight we're talking about love. And as we're thinking about love, and as we go through the Christmas season, I see everywhere I see presents everywhere in Christmas. And it reminds me of how much my brother, Kyle and I, he's my twin. It reminds me of how much we loved presents growing up. And we actually enjoyed the most the presents that it'd be one present for both of us. We enjoyed those presents the most, and we really enjoyed sharing a lot of those presents. And while my wife is wrapping this present a few nights ago, this is to one of my nephews. I remembered of a night where it's Christmas Eve, and me and my twin brother, Kyle and I, we know what we're getting for Christmas because we only asked for one thing. And that was an original PlayStation gaming system. And we know we're going to get that. And we decided on Christmas Eve that enough is enough. We don't want to wait for it. We want to get it now. We go under the tree. We find the only present that's labeled to Cameron and Kyle. We unwrap it. We take the gaming system out. We hook it up to the TV. And we play on it for about 3 hours until we're super tired. It's late at night. We believe that we can put everything back in the box. Just the way it came out. We didn't. We thought that we could wrap it just as well as my mom did. We didn't. We actually used different wrapping paper than my mom originally did. And we put a label on it. And we thought we had gotten away with it. We go to bed. My mom wakes up early. She realizes what we have done. And to teach us a lesson, she took off the name tag. She took off the label that said to Cameron and Kyle. And she put on another label that said to Eric. And so Christmas morning comes, and we say that we want to open up our presents first. And they say, go ahead and pick out your present. We go, we pick out that present, but we realize Eric's name was on it. And I thought that it was so late, and I wasn't even thinking that I had written my brother's name and given him my own present. And we were just distraught for a little bit. She let him unwrap that present as it was his own, hook it up, and play a game on it in front of us while we sat there in utter defeat. But she finally broke the news to us that, yeah, that was actually our present. But we never did that again. We learned a lesson. We never did that again. But I think of presents, and I think about how everything has transitioned inside of me about presents. And I still like to receive presents now, but I would much rather give someone a present. That gives me a whole lot more joy. It gives me a lot more happiness to give a present than to receive one, especially since I have my own son now. And this will be the second Christmas that we'll be able to give my son Judah presents. And that's much more enjoyable for me. And I think that's even more true of God and who God is. I believe He really enjoys giving us presents. And I know that's true since the greatest gift He ever gave us is His love. And He tells us to look at His love as a gift, right? When trying to describe who God is and what He is like in the Old Testament authors, they tended to use some specific phrases. And this is one of the phrases. They use this many times in the Old Testament. And this is from Exodus 34:6. And it says, the Lord, a God merciful and gracious, slow to anger, and abounding in steadfast love and faithfulness. Now let's focus on the very last phrase of that. Let's focus on that love. Now that word is actually a Hebrew word, chesed. And remember, if you're pronouncing that well, you're spitting everywhere. Chesed. This is where we find the word that really means three things in one. Now, a really good translation of that is loyal love, steadfast love. Either one of those can work really well. But this is a really difficult word to translate into English because it really means three words put together. It's really three English words put together. It combines love, it combines generosity, and it combines commitment. Love, generosity, and commitment all in the same word working together. So God is loving, He is generous, and He is committed to us every time we see this word. This word is used in the story of Ruth. If you remember the story of Ruth, all the males died. Naomi's husband dies. Ruth's husband dies. Naomi's other son dies. And Ruth, the obvious thing would be for Ruth to go back to her hometown and start her life over. But she says, no, Naomi, I'm going to come with you to your hometown. I'm going to worship your God with you, and I'm going to take care of you. And we see that Ruth, it uses that word chesed, because in that act, in that action, and that word is really used out of an action. In that action, Ruth is generous, she is loving, and she is committed to Naomi. She is showing all three of those parts of love to Naomi. But really the one who shows the chesed the most in the Bible is actually God himself. Look for the moment at the story of Jacob. We look through the lineage of the biblical heroes, and we see God promises to Abraham, and Abraham has a son, Isaac, and Isaac has a son named Jacob. But Jacob wasn't actually the firstborn. It really, if you look at it, it would have made more sense to go, it would have been Abraham, Isaac, and Esau. But Jacob stole Esau's birthright. He stole his blessing from his father Isaac. Jacob was a liar, a cheater. He stole this blessing. When Jacob stole this blessing from his father, it could have really hindered God's promise to Abraham to make this family. And so he told Abraham he would make him into a great what? This great, incredible nation. But God kept his promise even through lying, even through cheating, even through non-committal actions. He kept his promise and commitment to the family even when they did not deserve it, which was often. 20 years later, Jacob realizes what he's done in his life, and he's sorrowful for it. Jacob falls on his knees and thanks God for all that he had done for him. Jacob was amazed at how God had shown him this chesed, this love. And Jacob said he didn't deserve it. He says, God, I don't deserve what you've done for me. But you know what? He's right. He didn't deserve it. He wasn't worthy of God's love. And we need to remember, neither are we. We are not worthy of God's love either, even a little bit. That's the incredible thing about God's love, is that it doesn't ever depend on us or what we do or how we live. Over and over again in the Bible, God keeps his promise of salvation and commits himself to people who are never actually fully committed to him. And that goes for you and me. God's chesed is based only on God's love, his generosity, and his commitment. God's love is based on his own actions. We can never do anything ever to earn or break his love for us. That's the idea of a gift that is unearned and a gift that is undeserved. God fully committed to us by sending Jesus, by becoming human for us. God fully committed to us by becoming one of us. Psalm 136 talks about God's love, and it says, his chesed is forever and ever, not ending. And all of this is what God's loyal love looks like for us. So the question is, what is our reaction? What does our love look like for the one who has always been committed to us, even when we're not committed to him? What does our love look like, and what should it look like? Here are some family questions that you can go through for about 5 or 7 minutes. I hope you take some time, spend some time as a family, and let's really look and pray and think about, what does God's chesed mean for our life, and how do we live that love out?